Today on Let Them Talk TV, the most common pronunciation mistakes in the English language. For the last 6 months, I've been listening and compiling all the pronunciation errors I've heard in this black book right here, and I'm going to share them with you today. This is what you have to do. I'll pronounce each word and give an example sentence. I'll also leave a short gap before pronouncing them for the first time for those of you who wish to take it as a test. Let us know in the comments how you do. The problem with most of these words is not that they are difficult to pronounce, because they are not, with a few exceptions. Rather, it's that the spelling is inaccurate or inconsistent with the pronunciation. So it's just a question of becoming familiar with them by hearing them again and again. When a word is difficult, I'll give you a trick on how to pronounce it correctly. In this list, I've decided only to include common mispronunciations. That's why I haven't included obscure words such as, amoeba or quinoa or quinoa, however you pronounce it, because unless you've applied for a job as a sous chef in a health food restaurant, nobody really cares how you pronounce it. So we're just doing words that you should know if you have an intermediate or an advanced level of English. Okay, let's go. Ache. I have a headache. Aisle. Do you want a window seat or aisle? That's the same pronunciation as I''ll, aisle. Albeit. He works hard, albeit slowly. Albeit, not albeit. Alibi. There was a murder last night. Where were you? Do you have an alibi? So it's alibi, not alibi. Answer. Tell me the answer. Silent W. Answer. Architect. I love the architecture in this city. Notice the CH is pronounced K because it comes from Greek. Aunt. You aren't allowed to smoke in here. Aunt has one syllable, not aren't. Ballet. She dances ballet. Notice the silent T at the end. Ballet. It comes from French. Biscuit. I like biscuits, not biscuit. Breakfast. What do you want for breakfast? Okay, breakfast, not break fast, breakfast. Breath. Take a deep breath. Notice that the verb is to breathe, but the noun is breath. Canal. We took a boat on the canal. Notice the stress. It's canal, not canal. Stress is on the last syllable, canal. Carriage. Our seat is in the second carriage of the train. Castle. The king lives in the castle. It has a silent T, castle. Chaos. When the electricity went out, there was chaos in the city. So 2 syllables, K, like the letter K, and os. Choir. When I was young, I sang in a choir. So that's qua sound, okay? Choir. Circuit. The electricity short-circuited and we were plunged into darkness. So circuit, not circuit. Climbing. If we carry on climbing like this, we'll reach the top of the mountain in 1 hour. So it has a silent B. Climbing. Clothes. Put on your clothes. This is another difficult one, and the important thing to remember here that clothes has 1 syllable. The classic way to pronounce it is a th and an s. Clothes. Clothes. However, if you find that difficult, a lot of native speakers will just say close, like close the door, put on your clothes. That's perfectly okay if you say that, okay? Clothes. Some people might say it with a V sound, clothes. Okay, I'm wearing clothes. That's also okay. So however you pronounce it, clothes, 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 all are perfectly correct. Just make sure it's one syllable. Debris. The earthquake had left debris from the broken buildings on the street. Okay, debris, a silent S. Debt. I am in debt. It's got a silent B. Debt. Debut. Today is my debut as Hamlet. A silent T at the end. Now here are some words ending in ed. Most of these are adjectives, not verbs, so you may be surprised by the pronunciation. And we do have a video on ed adjectives up here. Beloved. I was away for a long time, but today I'll be reunited with my beloved friends. Okay, so pronunciation is beloved, not beloved, and it's an adjective, not a verb. So it's not a grammar lesson, but just let you know, you don't say that these cakes are beloved by Parisians. No, because these cakes are loved by Parisians, because the verb is to love, but the adjective is beloved. My beloved viewers out there. Crooked. Before he became president, he was involved in many crooked business deals. So it's an adjective, so it's crooked, not crooked. Misled. He told me he was going to make me rich, but I was misled. This is a verb, to mislead, but the past is misled, not misled. Naked. If you take off your clothes, you will be naked. So naked, not naked. Sacred. This land is considered sacred by the indigenous people. Wicked. He's not a nice guy at all. In fact, he's wicked. Okay, wicked, not wicked. Wretched. Everything went wrong. I've had a wretched day. Okay, wretched. Again, it's an adjective, so wretched, not wretched. Either or either. You can have either beer or water. The good thing about this one is there are two pronunciations, both are correct. It's not really regional, it's just that there are two pronunciations. And we have a video on that subject up here, how to pronounce either, and other such words. Finite. There is a finite amount of oil and soon it will run out. Compare it to infinite. Okay, it contains finite, but it's pronounced differently. Infinite. There are an infinite number of stars in the universe. Flour. You make dough from flour. Same pronunciation as flour, like a flower. Foreigner. He's not from this country, he's a foreigner. Okay, remember, foreigner, not foreigner. The I is silent, so it's a G. Forte. Let's go out to eat. Cooking is not my forte. Foul. A foul smell was coming from the kitchen. Don't confuse it with soul. Okay, so foul, soul, different vowel sound. Gnaw. The dog gnawed on a juicy bone. Silent G. Guard. The changing of the guard, not guard. Guest. The guests arrive at 5:30 p.m. Okay, guest, not guest. Half. I worked for half a day. The L is silent. Half. Harbour. The boats came into the harbour. Okay, harbour, not harbour. Hasten. We are all doing our best, but we will hasten our efforts so that the work is finished soon. Okay, hasten, silent T. Heir. She is the heir to the throne. The H is silent here, and it's the same pronunciation as air in the sky. Hymn. At church, we sing hymns. The N is silent. Hyperbole. It was a review full of hyperbole and inaccurate statements. Hyperbole, not hyperbole. Idea. I've got a brilliant idea. Okay, so idea has 3 syllables. Idea. Indict. The banker was indicted for fraud. Okay, so indict, not indict. Infamous. When I was arrested, they took me to the infamous Newgate prison. Okay, so you have the word famous, but infamous. So different stress, different pronunciation. Iron. I ironed my shirts on Sunday night. So iron, don't pronounce the R, pronounce it like a Y. Iron. Okay, and then you'll be all right. Iron. Island. I was born on an island in the North Atlantic. Yes, I was. So island has a silent S. Jeopardy. The crisis has put the future of our business in jeopardy. Okay, jeopardy, not jeopardy. No, jeopardy. Knead. You have to knead the dough for 20 minutes. That's the same pronunciation as knead, N-E-E-D. Law. I fought the law and the law won. Okay, law, not low. Law like rhymes with door. Lead. Do not lead me into temptation. Don't confuse it with led. Same spelling, different word. Long-winded. Your speech was long-winded and you could have said it in half the time. Okay, winded, not winded. Loose. Your jeans are too loose. They are going to fall down. Loose, not lose. Okay, it's a different word. Managed. I hope I managed to answer your questions. Maneuver. We manoeuvred our bicycles through the narrow streets of the old town. Maneuver, 3 syllables. Mayor. She is the new mayor of our town. Okay, 1 syllable. Mayor. Medieval. This is a medieval building. Mischievous. Their children are quite mischievous. Mishap. I'm going to be late. I had a little mishap. Notice the pronunciation. Mishap, not mishap. Moisten. When the hero died at the end of the film, I could feel my eyes start to moisten. Silent T. Months. It took me months to finish the book. Now this one is quite difficult because you've got 3 consonants in a row, the N, Th and an S. Months, months. If it helps, in London we turn the TH into an F, so we have months, but that's okay if you're having difficulty with months. But the classic way is months. But the important thing is that you only pronounce it with 1 syllable. So do not say months, always months or months. Muscle. He's a strong man. He has big muscles. There's a silent C there. Nuisance. My flight has been cancelled. What a nuisance. Okay, so notice it's nuisance, like new, the opposite of old, and sense, like sense, not nuisance. Okay, 2 syllables, nuisance. Words ending in O-U-G-H. Now, this is very complicated, and we do have a video just on OUGH words up here. However, I'll just give you, for this video, just a small number. Dough. I made the dough and baked it, and now we have bread. Plough. I have to plough the garden. Rough. I've had a rough night. Thorough. Have a thorough look at the contract. Throughout. I've travelled throughout India. Opposite. My apartment is opposite the station. Okay, opposite, not opposite. Parable. I like the parable about the tortoise and the hare. Pint. 2 pints of beer, please. Okay, so pint, not pint, as I've heard quite a few times. Plumber. We have a leak. I called the plumber. The B is silent here. Plumber, not plumber. Psychology. It's important to understand human psychology. All these PSY words from Greek are pronounced psy. Psychology, psychotherapy, etc. Quay. We got off the boat and stepped onto the quay. Same pronunciation as the thing you open the door. Quay. Realm. Some of these alternative treatments don't fall under the realm of medicine. Receipt. Here is your coffee. Would you like a receipt? Okay, so the P is silent here. Receipt. Recipe. I have a recipe for chocolate cake. Okay, so recipe, 3 syllables. Resume. Let's start now and we'll resume after lunch. Now, don't confuse this with resume. One is a French word we use in English to talk about CV, resume, and resume means to restart. Rogue. There are some rogue elements in the government who plan to vote against you. Roll. I love rock and roll, so it's roll, not roll, as I've often heard. Says. She says she'll be late. Do not pronounce it says. It's says. It's irregular. Also said, not said. Sew. I tore my shirt, but I can sew it back together. Yes, this is a very common mistake. Sew like S-O. Same pronunciation, exactly the same pronunciation. Sew, S-E-W. Shove. In the crowded tube, I got shoved by fellow passengers. Sixth. This is the 6th coffee I've had today. This is quite a difficult one. And so it's 6th. So sick, like I'm not well, I'm sick. And then put a th at the end. 6th. Getting from the future here, I've just remembered that a lot of people will put an S after the sick sound. So 6th. Not me. 3 consonants together require tongue acrobatics that is beyond me. But you can choose 6th or 6th. Sleuth. Sherlock Holmes is the most famous sleuth of them all. Soften. I've been fired after 20 years at the company, but the generous financial package softens the blow. Sour. I left the milk outside the fridge and now it's sour. Okay, so it has 2 syllables. Sour. Sour. Southern. I've got a southern accent. Now, this is commonly mispronounced because you have south, but southern. Stomach. I've eaten too many donuts and now I've got a stomach ache. So that's stomach, not stomach. Subtle. The real one and the fake one look similar, but there is a subtle difference between them. Okay, so the B is silent, subtle. Suit. If you're going to an interview, wear a suit. Sweaty. After running for 2 hours, I'm hot and sweaty. Swords. Before guns, people fought with swords. Okay, so that's got a silent W. Tear. The contract is wrong. Tear it up. Okay, tear. Don't confuse it with tear. Same spelling, but different pronunciation. Vowel. A language has consonants and vowels. Whole. I spend the whole day making recipes. Okay, whole has a silent W. Same pronunciation as whole without the W. There's a hole in my bucket. Women. This is a women-only waiting room. Okay, very common mistake. We're min, not women. Yolk. The yellow part of the egg is called the yolk. Okay, silent L, yolk. Hope you enjoyed that video. We've got lots more videos on pronunciation. Check them out here. And we've also got many videos on grammar and much, much more. Stay mellow. See you soon. Bye.